Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for coming today. I know at least maybe the pollen's not as bad as normal, right? Because the rain's washed it away. I always say bring on the rain this time of the year. Pollen and I do not get along. So welcome to the Community Health Series for April, which is Parkinson's and Autism Month. Just a reminder, out front, you have these flyers out there, which shows you every month what subjects we're having every month. Next month is Mental Health Awareness Month. We actually have some really good speakers that are coming next month who are going to be talking about one of the events that they're going to have here, actually, a conference that is called Out of the Shadows. So they'll be talking, there's some counselors and stuff that's going to be coming to talk some really good information. So make sure that you spread the word, because this is free, and you get to ask questions, and you don't have to make an appointment, right, to go somewhere to ask questions for free. We have vendors. Hopefully next month we'll have some more vendors, but we have door prizes, all that kind of stuff. So please spread the word. Make sure that you tell people at your church, people in your community, your family, your friends, and make sure to let them know that it's also on WEAC TV 24. We've got MJ up there. Thanks. So he actually is filming this. So every month, like this month, it'll air 3 days a week until our next event. So the next event is May 20th. So today's show will be a 30-minute show that will air 3 days a week, every week, until May 20th. And then the mental health awareness topic will air 3 days a week until the next topic to the next week. So that's how that works. So, which is great that we're doing that, but you don't get the full effect if you're not here for the whole amount of time. And I'm sorry that we had to start a little bit later today and had technical difficulties. But anyway, I just wanted to get that together, make sure that you have your door prize ticket as well. Today we have, it's Parkinson's and Autism Month, and we're going to start off with autism, our autism speakers. I am very fortunate that I got to know one young lady, Morgan. She is awesome. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and as well as Brandy Goldman. She's the owner and CEO of Connect ABA, and I'm going to let them both introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about them and about what they do, because they know better than I do. So I'm going to let them come up, and please, I highly encourage you guys to participate. So if you have any questions, just raise your hand, and please ask questions, because I know that they're full of information, and what they do is wonderful. And so just make sure that you participate and don't feel shy about asking questions. And I'm going to turn it over to them.
Good morning. Can you all hear me pretty well? Do I need to get closer? Yes, get closer? Okay.
Go closer, she says.
I can get closer. All right, like she said, my name is Brandy. I am originally from a small town in South Alabama. Moved to Birmingham, knew I wanted to be in the healthcare field and bring healthcare back, to small communities. So met Morgan several years ago in the ABA field, which is therapy for children with autism. I'll let her speak more to that. I am not a clinician. But we decided a couple of years ago to start Connect ABA, just to bring it back to Etowah County, hopefully, get into these smaller communities to treat kids with autism and just expand the services of ABA in general. As far as community resources go, we do have a lot of good resources on our website, which you can find in this pamphlet, but places to take kids, sensory-friendly places to take kids who you feel like might need to be evaluated for autism. We have all of that on our website. A lot of good information just in general about autism and what we do as far as treatment and how to get them in for services and stuff like that. But we're here, we're in Etowah County. I'm gonna let Morgan speak to what ABA specifically is, but we are here if you have any questions to answer. Just let us know.
Hello, everyone. Closer, am I good? Okay. So like she said, we provide ABA therapy services to our clients. So ABA is just kind of an acronym for what we call Applied Behavior Analysis. So we, work with kiddos who have been diagnosed on the autism spectrum. Usually age ranges from about 2 to 10. We have part-time, full-time services, and we also have a really fun thing that we've been doing recently, our social skills group. And so that is for our older kiddos who, maybe we are thriving in the school environment and, having good relationships with our teachers and classmates, but, we don't want to play games with our friends. We're not super great at taking turns, or that's just kind of our areas of opportunity. So we also offer that, and that's really fun. We do a lot of board games with the kids, work on turn taking, and a lot of what we focus on is surrounding communication. Because I know a lot of times when we're talking about autism, unfortunately, one of the first things that can kind of come to our brain are the behaviors that, we don't want to see or would like to see less. And a lot of times those behaviors happen just due to an inability to communicate. And so, I always try to put myself in my client's shoes. If I was talking to you guys right now and I knew exactly what I was saying, but none of you knew what I was saying, that would, I'm sure, be very frustrating to me. And, who knows how we would react in those situations. But yeah, kind of like Brandy said, I'm actually from Glencoe. I don't know if you guys know where that is. And I graduated with my bachelor's degree from Jacksonville State. So definitely from around here. Like Brandy said, when we met, we were both working in Birmingham. And, while Birmingham could still use more resources because it's such a large area, they just have a lot more in terms of providers and resources, I guess, for people with autism in that area. And being from around here, we definitely wanted to offer something else in the area as well, so that we're not having families having to travel over an hour just to get services for their kiddos. I even know in Birmingham, we had clients driving from Calhoun County, from Gadsden, from Tuscaloosa. And so, just kind of trying to meet people where they are. And I know Ellen does a lot of great work with, caregivers who are taking care of grandkids or, raising other family members. She's a great resource for that as well. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to come introduce ourselves, tell you a little bit about what we do, let you know that we're here. We do have 2 clinics. We have one in Gadsden. We are actually located in Gadsden Regional Hospital. And then we also have a clinic in Birmingham, Homewood. I had to verify that. I work at the Gadsden Clinic, obviously. So, but yeah, so please feel free to grab a pamphlet. It has our contact information. And, if you have someone in your life who you think would benefit from ABA services, there's information on how to get on our wait list, and things like that. So does anyone have any questions for either one of us? We're very fast talkers. I told Ellen I'm not good at taking a long time to get to my point. Yes.
Are your services individual, like at what they're one-on-one with that child?
Yes, ma'am.
And then,
So ABA therapy is, I can't think.
You want me to speak?
Cover, yeah, I'm gonna let Brandy talk, but I will talk first on the individualized. So she will cover the insurance part of it. But so we try to set our day up at the clinic almost like a preschool or a school setting, because when we're working with our kids, we want to prepare them for that next step. So what their natural environment's going to be, which again, for that 2 to 10 age range is usually school. So while we have group snack and we have group circle time and we have all these group activities, each client is with an individual, what we call RBT, which is a registered behavior technician. So that's someone who's gone through the training on the principles of ABA to be able to implement it. So it is one-on-one, but we do still try to kind of cultivate that social and group environment to kind of get them ready for that next step. But yes, I will let Brandy take over for insurance.
So insurance, depending on the payer that you all have, so Medicaid covers it at 100% if they have an autism diagnosis, and then with commercial insurances, it just depends on the plan that child is covered by. Typically, just off the top of my head, All Kids covers it. There's like a $13 a day copay. It really just depends on if it's a commercial insurance on the actual plan that the child is covered by, but it's covered by insurance. And then there's a lot, even on our website, there are other resources that help pay for those copays. So if you have a child or you know someone who has a commercial insurance but they have a high copay, we have resources that we are working with that can help cover those copay charges as well. So we try to, say again?
Including Ellen.
Oh, yeah, so Miss Ellen has some resources that she can connect you with to help cover for those therapy costs as well. So we work, like I said, in the community to try to make it as free or cheap as possible.
Hope that answered your question. Yes. Oh, sorry. We'll go you first. So, we don't currently have like a hard age to where we're, you have aged out. Right now, our oldest kiddo is about 10, and we just kind of look at social appropriateness, so whereas an older kiddo might be a great fit for our social skills group, it might not be beneficial for that friend or, our 2 and 3-year-old friends during the day. So it's definitely on a case-by-case basis and kind of what skills we're working on, what behaviors we have, and kind of what we need to target at that point. Oh, there you go. Does anybody else have any questions for either one of us? All right. Well, thank y'all so much for having us. Thank you, Ellen, for inviting us to come speak. And again, if you guys want to grab one of these, they are on that front table and have all of our contact information on there for you guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. And if you guys have any other questions, maybe that you didn't want to talk out loud about, make sure that you, after our event is over, to ask them. I'm sure they'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have. And so without further ado, I want to get our next speaker to come up here, Emily Hollingsworth. She's from Regional Medical Center, and I believe you work in the physical therapy department. She specializes in Parkinson's disease and so forth, and I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about what she does and her background.
Hello everybody, my name is Emily Hollingsworth, and I'm here to talk about PT and PD, so PT and Parkinson's disease. I don't have a clicker, so I'm going to be back and forth going to the next button. So a little bit about me. My name is Emily Hollingsworth. I'm a physical therapist assistant. I graduated from Jefferson State Community College in 2006, so I have been licensed and graduated for 19 years this year. I've been working for RMC since 2008. I'm sorry, I had to look. It's been a long time. So that means that I've been working there now for 17 years. As of yesterday, actually. And I am certified in LSVT Big and LSVT Big for Life since 2020, so 5 years now. And I'm a member of the APTA, and I'm currently serving on the Alabama Board of Directors as the PTA member at large. And I just submitted for my advanced proficiency for PTA for neurology, and so I'm being considered for that, and hopefully I'll hear back from that soon. So what that means is that I am specializing in neurological disorders, and so I'll treat a lot of neurological disorders, including Parkinson's disease, muscular sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, Huntington's disease, along with a lot of other neurological disorders in the clinic, including balance and balance disorders, vestibular things like that. I'm currently enrolled at UAB for my Bachelor's of Science in Healthcare Management, and if everything goes well, I plan to graduate in 2028. And just some fun facts about me. I'm a very avid reader. I read 55 books in 2023, and I'm on track to meet my goal of 45 this year. And I have read 33 so far. It says 32, but I finished one last night. So 33 so far. And flamingos are my favorite animal, and I'm married with 2 beautiful children. Okay, so we're going to talk about festinating of gait and freezing of gait and what the difference is. And so first of all, I'm going to show you 2 videos. I'm going to show festinating of gait first. Does anybody in here have Parkinson's disease? Is anybody familiar with Parkinson's disease? Yeah, okay. So Parkinson's disease, 2 of the very common things that you'll see with Parkinson's is festinating of gait and freezing of gait. We're going to improvise. Okay, so this would be an example of festinating gait. So you can see the forward posture and the leaning, and then how she's on her tippy toes, and how it's kind of getting faster and it's hard to stop. Don't fall down the stairs. Okay, so then the next one is freezing of gait. We're not even going to try it. So with freezing of gait, some things to see is that when they take steps, sometimes they just feel kind of stuck to the floor and they just can't move. And a lot of times this can be a precursor to a fall. And sometimes, very good, thank you. And sometimes this can even occur because of the festinating. So sometimes it happens because they try to push through the freezing, and the festinating and the freezing occur at the same time. Freezing. Once freezing occurs in a person with Parkinson's, it cannot be cured. It can only be managed, and that's something we're going to talk about today. We teach in clinic some ways to manage that, and that can be the 4 S's. And down here at the bottom, you see the 4 S's are stop, stand tall, sway or shift your weight, and then step big. So we'll talk about that in a future slide in just a minute. But again, this can be extremely frustrating to someone who is freezing. And we'll talk about why in just a minute, but just keep that in mind. I want y'all to know that I practice this, and I'm just having a lot of difficulties with it right now. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Okay, where's my little cursor? Can y'all see it? Because I sure can't. There it is. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some freezing triggers. One of the most common triggers for freezing is turns. So turns, and when I talk about turns, I'm talking about like you're walking and then you turn, like you're trying to turn to go through a doorway, or you're trying to turn around to sit down in a chair. Turns in general can trigger someone to start freezing and get that just stuck in place feeling. And then initiation of walking. So someone who, let's say they're getting up from a chair, or they're just starting to walk anywhere, that in itself can trigger them to start feeling stuck to the floor. Tight spaces, walking through tight spaces. So if these tables were closer together and they were having to walk through between the 2 chairs, that could make them start to feel like they're frozen. Feeling rushed or having a feeling of anxiety, that can cause them to freeze. So think about it like if they're having to cross a road, and you know how the light lights up to say it's time for them to walk across the street. Just feeling that time constraint, you've got this many seconds to cross the road, that can cause them to feel rushed, which causes them to have anxiety of, oh, can I get there in time? Oh no, I can't move. I cannot get my feet to go. I'm stuck. That can cause some anxiety. Another big trigger for someone is getting into an elevator or getting off the elevator before the doors close on them. So that can be a big trigger for someone. Another big distraction or complex environment. And when I say that I'm talking about like, let's say you're in a room with a lot of family members for a holiday, That's a big distraction or a complex environment. You've got a lot of people in the kitchen around the island trying to fix food. Everybody's chit-chatting. They're trying to fix their plates, but you're just trying to get in there and get some ice and fix your drink without spilling it. And that can cause you to freeze because everybody's wanting to say hello. And you know how we are in the South, we just want to talk. And, well, hey, how are you, Aunt Sally? Oh, it's so good to see you. Well, now I'm stuck because I can't move because you're talking to me and she's over here hugging and it's tight right here and I can't sidestep to get to that ice bucket. I'm frozen in place. So complex environments and distractions, big freezing triggers. Okay, so then arriving at destinations like your chair, your bed, going through a door, going over a threshold, that can be a distraction. That can be a freezing trigger. So keeping those things in mind, and in a future slide, I can talk about how to help you overcome some of those freezing triggers. But all of these things can severely impinge your functional mobility, your ADLs, and you may have to require assistance with all of those things. You may have to have someone with you. You may have to require an assistive device like a walker or a cane. And you may have to require help on more often than not. You may have to require someone to be with you all the time. All right, so let's talk about those 4 S's. When you feel frozen, there are things that we can teach you as a physical therapist to help you thaw out. And so the first one is to just stop. When you feel frozen, the first thing that we can do is to just stop where you are. Take a big wide stance and then just stop. Make sure your heels are down on the floor and take a deep breath. All right, we're here we are. Reset, okay? And then the next thing we're gonna do is stand tall. You're a superhero and you can do this. All right, so we've stopped and we've stood tall. And then the third thing we're gonna do is shift our weight. We're either gonna sway side to side to shift our weight, and we're talking big movements here. Get that weight off of your feet, or you can think about going forward. You can either do forward and back, or you can do side to side. Either way, what you're doing is unloading your feet, and that allows you to do initiation of a step, which is number 4, to do a big step forward so that you can walk and get out of that freezing episode. Now you're thawed out, okay? So that's your big 4 S's for thawing out if you get frozen. In clinic, I like to tell my patients that fall is a 4-letter bad word. And I joke about it a lot because when you have Parkinson's disease, a fall can be a very bad thing in addition to having Parkinson's. And then we have speech therapy at the Tyler Center. And we do offer traditional therapy. We do have 2 certified LSVT loud therapists, but I didn't put that on there because at the moment, we don't have the capability to provide it as protocol, but I do want y'all to know that we're trying to get that back into service at the Tyler Center. So just so you know, we do have 2 certified LSVT loud therapists. But we are open 5 days a week. We see patients 1 to 2 times a week, usually for speech therapy, for 30 to 45 minutes per session, up to 12 weeks as needed, and total visits may vary. The intensity may vary, but we see a variety of patients and diagnosis, and it's delivered by any licensed speech language pathologist. And that's a picture of our sweet girls that we have in speech therapy. All right, so let's get moving. So if you have Parkinson's evidence-based research says that the best way to slow the progression of Parkinson's is by exercise. So locally, some of the ways that you can get involved and get exercising is by the Rock Steady boxing group, one of the best evidence-based supported exercise groups for Parkinson's disease is Rock Steady Boxing. So that is offered down at the YMCA in Anniston. So that's a great place to go if you want some support and meet people that also have Parkinson's. Go there, check that out. If you just want to watch, it's non-contact, so you're not actually boxing other people, and it is delivered by people who are certified and trained to teach you that mode of exercise. If you need actual therapy and you want an actual program, LSVT Big and Power Moves are great sources for that. But if you just need physical therapy and you're not looking for something specific, any physical therapist in the area can offer that for you and deliver that to you. However, if you just want to get moving, any type of exercise, any form of exercise is good for you. It can be walking, it can be dancing, it can be yoga or Tai Chi. It can be moving with your grandkids. It can be aerobics. Just get moving. Just move. It's good for you. So again, moving and exercise is the best way to prevent the progression of Parkinson's. Okay, and then finally, I just want to share with y'all that we have a resource event coming up for the people with Parkinson's and their caregivers. It's going to be on April 29th, which is a Tuesday. It's from 3:30 until 5 o'clock, and it's going to be at the Tyler Center in the education room on the first floor. And if you know someone with Parkinson's or their caregivers and you would like to share this information, we have little flyers to give out. Y'all take one, feel free to take one and share it with someone you know, or y'all come out and yourselves. We would love to have you. We're gonna have people from the area. We're gonna have the Parkinson's Foundation. We're gonna have the Alabama Parkinson's Association. And we're just gonna have a bunch of people from the area to come and speak and have information to share with y'all. So please come out and join us. And if y'all have any questions, you're welcome to contact me at there's a QR code on the back of that flyer. All right, so thank y'all for letting me be here. I appreciate you. And I want to say thank you to Miss Ellen, and y'all have a great day. See you later.
Thank you guys so much for coming today, and make sure to come next month. Next month is, I think, on the 20th, correct? I think so. Yeah, there's flyers out front, but May 20th, and it is Mental Health Awareness Month. So make sure that you come for that. We've got some really good speakers coming for that as well. Counselors, all different types of people coming for that. It's free. And what better way to come and to get information and be able to ask questions for free. You don't have to make an appointment, right? You don't have to make an appointment to go see somebody in an office, which I think is great. So I challenge each one of you that come every month, and I appreciate all of my regulars. Please ask other people to come. See if you can invite somebody and tell them how great and wonderful our programs are and how great and wonderful our vendors are. And I appreciate every one of you, and I appreciate MJ for being here. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hopefully it'll get warmer. I think we're supposed to have a freeze warning actually in the morning. Alabama weather, right? So, but just enjoy your day, and we will see you later, and we'll see you next month.